Bismarck, North Dakota. All she wanted was to enjoy a couple of days in the woods, to embrace nature and forget about her ex-boyfriend breaking up with her after 3 seemingly ideal years together. She wanted to forget those 3 years thrown down the drain for no reason at all. She wanted to forget how he ended it. Eric, whining, just mumbled and said he had to move on, before leaving for England where he would be staying with his parents for a week. To make things worse, he hadn't said those 4 words face to face. He had said them over the phone. The forest was unfamiliar to her, as she just drove and drove until finding an expanse of trees that seemed to stretch into eternity. She wasn't worried, however, as she had a compass, a map that she had bought at a gas station miles back, and a first aid kit she had packed in her camping bag. What could possibly go wrong on a 2-day camping trip that she would require anything but that? The camping trip, as all things fun do, went by quickly, and before Emmanuelle knew it, she was making her way south through the woods. All thoughts or care of her ex out of her mind, though she was sure those thoughts would come back with a vengeance later. But she wasn't going to give in to that fear, not when she was so happy. But a few hours later, that happiness left her when the sun was beginning to fall and she still hadn't found a tree line or an open field. But when fear was beginning to grip her, she found that sought-after tree line and rushed through it, thinking she had found safety, when in fact, and much to her shock, she found a mausoleum. The mausoleum, a cracked and yellow-stained shadow of its former self, was set in the centre of a square-shaped and well-manicured lawn. 4 lights were set at the corners of the lawn and shone on the mausoleum like it was hosting the world premiere of a highly anticipated movie. 2 dogs were chained to the east and west ends of the mausoleum. Both looked up as Emmanuelle rushed through the tree line. She froze at the sight of them. Both dogs leapt from their spots in the grass and rushed at her full speed. Their chains snapped, and Emmanuelle closed her eyes and braced for the pain of her flesh being ripped from the bone. But the dogs never came, never ripped her apart. And when she opened her eyes, she found that they were gone, their broken chains lying like silver snakes on the well-manicured grass. Curiosity kills the cat. This is a saying common to everyone, and is as old as anyone can remember. Yet, Emmanuelle let her curiosity get the better of her when she opened the mausoleum door and stepped inside. Half was in constant shadow, yet a perfectly aimed beam of light led the way to a large, very ancient-looking book, resting upon an elevated book easel in front of the east wall. The book was open. Its pages were thick and showed with a faint yellow tint. Emmanuelle knew that she shouldn't read the writing on the page, but its fancifully written letters of long-ago dried ink was mesmerising and too fantastic to ignore. She figured reading words aloud from an old book wouldn't awaken some feared beast or activate a curse, as such things only happened in the movies. It could never happen in real life. Having no doubt about this, she cleared her throat and read aloud. In the skies they create no shadows, on land and sea no fear. They are nil. I exercise my human will to spill upon the earth an open contradiction to this sobering fact. Emmanuelle shuddered as an intense cold ran up and down her spine. "Milo, Brutus!" a strong male voice called out. Emmanuelle didn't know why she did it, but before she knew it, she was bolting out the door and running as far from the mausoleum as she could get.